activated.
There's a place at the end of the
road. 2018 GSL Season 3 Rockshear Seoul, Korea. Freak Up Studio Live. This is Rockshear.
What's up, everybody? We're back at the GSL. Oh my God. We've been running all over Seoul, casting everything StarCraft related for the last few weeks. But it's good to be back home, you know?
Indeed.
I'm gonna turn my
Home it
headset
is.
up. Is this my headset? This one's mine, right?
Yes.
Keep talking.
You need to know which knob it is?
Yes.
It's only,
okay.
It's only been 8 years. I can still tell you which knob if you need.
You know why I do that, because occasionally I get your knob and I get the evil eye. I get the crazy, the crazy angry Artosis look. Okay,
Okay,
my
so
volume's good now.
Tasteless.
Yes.
We had Neeb advance to the round of 8.
We did. Kind of crazy, right?
Pretty awesome, if you ask me.
It can be crazy, too. It can be awesome and crazy.
Yeah, I know. And it reminds me of that Nickelodeon show, right? Like Wild and Crazy
Wild and
Kids.
Crazy
Remember
Kids,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
I remember the name of it. I can't remember which show it was because there were so many.
It was Dare and Double Dare.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, Wild. and
Legends
Crazy
of the
Kids.
Hidden Temple.
Oh, that was an amazing one.
That was the best one, actually.
Yeah.
GSL
The
is
original
number 2 in great
esports
shows.
Tasteless.
By the way, guys, real quick here, we have a schedule change,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
If you're watching, listen carefully.
Okay.
The Asia Games are coming up, and Maru is going to be in Jakarta in Indonesia representing his nation. So
That's
we've
right.
had to move the days around.
Yeah, so instead of having it on the 1st of September, which is Saturday at 1 p.m., which is when we would normally have it, that's actually when Mario gets back. So we have to just move it to Sunday is basically what's going on here. And we're also switching around so that the other side of the bracket will be playing on Wednesday.
Correct.
Because Mario, again, is going to be gone. So just a little schedule change there, and we'll remind you again.
So it's a ZVT day today. We might have a TVT or ZVZ, we'll see, but I think there's a high chance it's just going to be one matchup, 5 best-of-3s in a row.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And this group is the group of death. Group B. The group stands for the group of Beth.
어떤 그림을 그려가지고 나오셨어요?
저랑 좀 작당 모의를 좀 하실 분을 구하고 싶은데 의견 좀 들어보고 싶어요.
네.
저는 별로 들어가고 싶지는 않아요.
아, 그럼 아니에요?
네, 저도 괜찮습니다.
아, 저도 괜찮아요? 네.
저도 전혀 들어줄 생각이 없어요.
아, 들어줄 생각이 없어요?
네. 신영이 형 뽑으면 누굴 뽑을지 좀
저 병렬이 뽑아야죠.
제 생각에 차라리 이럴 거면 그냥 어차피 저그를 레이너 선수를 좀 쉽다고 얘기를 했으니까 그냥 레이너를 뽑고 어차피 패기로운 레이너는 또 다른 선수를 뽑을 거거든요.
네.
그렇게 한번 설계를 해보는 것도
큰 그림도 박영우 선수가 레이너 선수를 뽑으면 어떤 종족의 어떤 선수를 뽑으실 생각인 건지
I'm not gonna tell.
말하기 싫다는데요.
말하는 거죠 이거. 와, 지니어스. 와.
정말 다 꼴보기 쉽네요. 그냥.
아, 그러니까요. 아니, 시드권자인데
시드자가 뽑으러 가는데 이게 뭐야라고 하면서 가고
그러니까
있어요.
이래서 우승해야 돼요. 조성호? 이신영 뽑으라고. 이신영 뽑자고. 누구? 고병재 선수. 아까 전에 고병재 선수 협박을 했잖아요.
네, 그렇죠.
저 두 명은 그 의지가 좀 확고하더라고요. 무조건 병렬이 형을 뽑겠다.
네.
자기를 뽑으면 병렬이 형 뽑겠다. 근데 병재 형 눈빛을 보니까 약간 그 자신감 없는 협박이구나.
와.
진리를 택할 것 같구나.
약간 거기서 이제
네.
정확히 봤네요. 네.
정확히 봤어요?
네.
와.
제가 다른 사람을 뽑고 싶어도 앞에서 다 뽑을 것 같아요.
네.
근데 그래서 정확히 봤지만 결과는 아마 똑같지 않을까. 결국 병렬을 뽑게 될 것 같아요. 어쩔 수 없이.
어쩔 수 없이.
네. 혹시 제가 물어보고 싶어요. 저기 누가 여기 오고 싶은 사람 있는지.
네, 비조는 저도 가기 싫어가지고.
아, 비조는 아니에요?
네,
누구 때문에요?
저 영우 형.
아, 박영우 때문에?
병재 형도 무섭고.
네.
비조만 아니면 돼요. 지금
비조만 아니면 돼요?
네네. 그래서
왜요?
설마 지금 4분의 1 확률로 비조에 걸리겠어라는 생각으로 있습니다.
그냥 알아서 하세요.
알아서 하세요 나왔습니다.
이래서
고병재 선수 입장에서
연습하기를 하려면 김시작 선수
전태현 가나요? 아니, 여기서
이노베이션?
이노베이션 이신영? 반상회하는 느낌이에요.
이시영 선수 계속 이병현 선수 뽑으라고 하는 것 같고요.
자 지금 여기서는 서로
이병현
와 대박.
강경호 선수 보내버리겠다는 거죠?
와 이병렬 선수 마이크 잡아주시고 진짜 비조 오기 싫었잖아요.
네. 아 근데 이왕 온 김에 팬분들 재밌게 하겠습니다 저는.
오!
네. 이왕 온 거.
재밌게는?
네. 저 원래
지금-
뭐 아니면 돌아서.
오!
네.
죽음의 조로?
네. 팬분들이 제일 재밌게 제가 만들겠습니다.
오!
이신혁이 되게 어리둥절하고 있어요.
조지명 씨 제가 많이 해본 결과 저렇게 행복한 쪽이 있으면은 이렇게 우울한 쪽이 있을 수밖에 없거든요.
B로 넘어가서 이병렬 선수의 선택의 시간이 됐습니다.
일단은 준호 형이랑 신영이 형 중에 생각 중인데
오!
병렬이가 저 뽑으면 진짜 제가 또 지금 약간 떠오르는 게 너무 많거든요. 자면서도 빌드가 적부전이 막 다 떠오르는 거예요, 막.
갑자기?
그래가지고 지금 숨긴 필살기가 엄청 많아요.
아까는
제일
어쨌든
약한
지금
가장 약하다면서
아니,
사실.
네, 지금도 막 떠오르고 있어가지고.
떠올라요?
네.
약간 그럼 이시영 선수 생각 한번 들어보죠.
제가 생각하기에는 준호 형이 병렬이를 절대 못 이기거든요.
네,
그래서
오!
떠오른다고 하는데
네.
뭐 어떻게 질질 떠올리는 것 같고 저는 병렬이 믿습니다.
일단 신영이를 뽑았을 때 이기는 딱 그게 구상이 되거든요. 딱 오거든요. 예. 딱 그려져가지고
그려져요?
병렬이가 신영이 뽑으면 무난하지 않을까 싶은데.
와, 저기 밑까지.
시나리오 작가분들이
네,
계시는데요.
그러니까요.
준호 형 요새 자전거 타러 다니고 또 놀러 다니느라 연습할 시간이 없어서 또 저 안 뽑는다고 아까 사인을 보내가지고
병렬아 알지? 대회에서 토스 준비해오면 빡세다. 테라는 어차피 똑같아. 거기서 거기야. 빌드 준비해봐.
준호 형 근데 자신 있으세요? 자신 있으면 뽑을게요.
이빨 다시 빠졌어. 이빨 다시 빠졌어.
이빨 빠졌대. 이빨
밸런스가
자신 아예 없다는 거죠?
그럼요. 그냥 팩이었어요.
팩이었어요. 허세였다. 네. 예, 다 돌아요 지금. 설마 죽음의 조 비조에 비조. 안 된다고. 결국 저희 하이파이브 하고 있어요. 저
테라는 많으니까요.
와, 이거 이조 전부 다 안 좋아요 표정이. 와, 이거 너무. 그리고 이지영 선수 마이크 한번 잡아주시고.
병렬이가 평소에도 좀 똘끼가 있었는데 역시나
(2018) GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
I gotta say, man, I really enjoyed that. That video.
That was the best group selection thing I've ever seen. I was laughing
Yeah.
like the whole time.
Yeah.
That was so funny. I love how Dark is like, you know, when TY and Innovation said they'd pick Rogue right away, I believed him, but I looked into GuMiho's eyes and there was weakness. And and GuMiho was like, actually, you're right, but I still am gonna have to pick him. And then when Rogue went to pick Innovation,
And he hid
Innovation
his
tried to
hand.
hide his hand. And the little battle between Hero and Innovation both trying not to be picked. That was amazing.
So funny.
That was amazing. Oh my God, what a lead up to this group. I love it.
I got no idea who's going to get out of this group. It's so hard to call. Man.
Well, here, I'll do it for you, okay?
Please.
So, Rogue is going to get out of the
Rogue
group.
is a safe bet,
He's
yes.
going to get out of the group 100%.
Okay.
He played like crap in GSL versus the World. Yeah, Innovation beat him. It's not going to happen this time. I'm really interested in how GuMiho's going to do against Rogue. I mean, against Dark specifically. I think that he cannot go bio today against the Zerg players. He's going to have to stick to his best mech play.
Okay.
And I don't think that'll be enough to beat Rogue, but I wonder against Dark what that's going to look like.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting match. Like GuMiho's best mech against Stark. I think that can be like a 3-game series that's really close and really nice. So I don't have a full prediction, except Rogue is going to get out of this group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we're going to start this off on the map. Acid Plant. Okay, guys, we're still in the round of 16 here for the GSL Code S. No one's eliminated yet. Nobody advances yet. We're just getting this started. Do tell your friends to join us. Man, we've been just casting nonstop, Artie.
Oh, it's amazing.
We've just been running around.
Such a good mood.
Life is good.
Yeah.
8 years into StarCraft 2, 20 years into StarCraft 1, and we've had more work than we've ever had before.
There's just
life is beautiful. And it's going to get even better with this series coming up here now. Dark versus GuMiho here in the GSL Code S. What are you doing?
I'm just
you just like laugh at nothing. You're like,
I'm thinking. I'm just like re-going through like what Hero and Innovation were both saying to get Rogue to pick the other one, and how funny that was.
So funny, man.
He's like, "Oh, I'm thinking of builds right now. I think of him in my sleep." Innovation is like he's
and then Rogue's
sitting
like,
there.
"You want me to pick you? Just say it." So, and he's like,
"Yeah." He's like,
no.
"If you have confidence, I'll pick you." And he's like, "Uh-oh." But Innovation even called that. He's like, he's thinking about how he's going to lose. And the thing is, I agree. I'm like, nah, Rogue would beat Hero. Like, come on, come on. Like, Hero's a magician, PvT, but against Rogue, I'm like, well, we know what's coming. It's going to be a very quick timing attack. Man, I am so pumped today. This is, what a good group. What a sick group selection. By the way, that was so cute when he's like, Rainer, who would you pick? He's like, I'm not going to tell.
I know, so cute. It was like the way a kid responds to. It's like the way a young guy, I don't know, man. It just cracks me up, man. Everything about this is great.
It's like, I got the same vibe I get when, like, my daughter's hiding something behind her back, and I already know what it is. I'm like, what do you have back there? She's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, okay. I love it.
Got a lot of people down here in the studio today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. You guys are always welcome here.
Oh, this is such a good day.
You picked a good day to come
Dude,
to.
By the way,
yes,
Dark going back to an older build. He used to do this all the time. Dark will rise again. Oh, you better believe that. Dark used to, like, every game when he was like clearly the best Zerg in the world. Right now, he's like a top 3 Zerg basically. It's like him, Serral, and Rogue, in my opinion. In everyone's opinion. If you have opinions other than that, you're dumb.
Yeah, those are just false beliefs.
Yeah.
Like a flat earther or something. I'm like, well, I don't really know what to do with you right now.
Doesn't make sense at all. But he's opened up, right, with pretty quick speed, like pool before hatchery. He used to do this almost every game in a lot of matchups. Like, he'd do it against Protoss sometimes. He'd do it against Terran a lot. So it's interesting to see him do this. I oftentimes attributed this, because the thing is, he mixes in macro play and aggression, like, seamlessly. You never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But this is also like a very safe opening. Like, he'll never die early game.
Right.
Like, you can't kill him early. There's so many games where Dark just kind of holds on forever, and there'll be like one Ultralist that he transfuses 20 times and he wins the game. And
I'm saying it's classic Dark, as he has an Ultralist that he has 1 or 2 Ultras that eventually hold off an attack, and then he wins the game.
Yeah. And look at this. He's actually already going to pick off 2 Marines. He's going to be able to pick off this SCV. Like, what a nice opening. What a wonderful world we live in.
He's so good. He just leaves.
Yeah. It's like, well, I know a Hellion's on the way, so I may as well save these.
Yeah. Overlord comes in here for the scout. Now, GuMiho is he's an interesting Terran because he's actually had his own approach to playing the game, and it wasn't working for him for about 5 of the 7 years he's been playing.
Yeah.
And then eventually it started to really kick into high gear.
Well,
it started to pay off.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to see. He did not. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Artosis.
Well, I want to back up what you're saying, because if you recall, there was like some interviews done with GuMiho at the time, and some analysis of what was going on, and it was basically like, he saw that, like, damn, like, I'm still here, like, always qualifying. Like, this is, I believe, his 19th GSL, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my
something
God.
like that,
yeah,
right?
That's crazy. Yeah, but it might even be more than that, Artosis.
No, I think I saw someone post that it was like his 19th. Like,
really? Okay.
I believe next season he's
it's
going to
weird
have
to
like
say,
this
but I
crazy
actually
record.
would have guessed more.
Yeah, well, there's been like,
we've had like
30
36,
code S's or
36,
something.
I think now.
Well, yeah, I think this is like our 36th GSL, I believe, but not code S.
So.
But anyways, so he actually, GuMiho, like, dedicated himself to the basics, the fundamentals, right? He kind of re-improved his micro, macro, normal things, and then everything really paid off for him and he won that GSL.
Yeah. That was crazy when he won that. Out of all the GSL victories, that was one of the moments where I thought, damn, man, you know what? Hard work pays off.
Yeah, it
like,
really does.
do not give up.
Never
You're going to be a
surrender.
whiny nerd. You're going to be one of those kids on the forums complaining about, you barely get the game. Everything's too hard. There's no point trying.
Yeah.
Then you look at GuMiho and you're like, oh, my God. You just actually spent years trying to win this tournament, and eventually you did it. Can you imagine how it felt after that? He's like, well, got that one off the list of things to do while I'm still on this earth.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to win it if I just kept playing.
Now, look at what we see here. Dark, first off, he killed those first 2 Marines, so he scouted for 100 years, and now he's gotten speed and draw. And so now he's bringing over his queens for some pressure here. He has the Ravagers on the way. And he saw what GuMiho was up to. Like, GuMiho has been very greedy this game. And normally you can be greedy if you're going Banshees, because you'll hold off things, but with Queens, it's not so simple.
It's kind of interesting because we have 2 eBays here for the Wallen.
Yeah.
And with an attack like this, you can almost be guaranteed that that's going to tear that down. Hold up, there's actually some Hellions counterattacking over here.
Yeah.
Now, even if... Oh, hold up. We need to see how many drones this is actually going to kill. Dark is not even reacted, by the way. I don't even know if he's noticed that this is actually hitting him over here. Has he moved the workers? Guys, this is actually getting weird.
Yeah, this is... I mean, a lot of Lings coming back here to clean this up, but that's a ton of drones. So the attack of Dark has to do a lot more than what it's doing right now. Yeah, he's going to get the eBays, so that's going to be no upgrades for the Marines, so that's kind of nice.
23 workers to 52.
Yeah, the siege tanks back here, though, are doing a very good job. The Viking is trying to push everything back.
We have a weird moment here. Now, you know, it was something we were talking about earlier on, like, wow, what if he gets the eBay that knocks out the upgrades? But strangely enough, you know, the fact that he didn't do anything besides that and he lost so many workers, I'm feeling a lot more confident in GuMiho's game here.
Yeah, he's actually switching into mech.
That's actually really interesting.
Really interesting, right? Because he had the 2 eBays, so he was definitely going to go bio, which, by the way, I really don't think he should be going bio against these Zergs today. I think he needs to go mech. So, like, it's almost good that this happened like this, as dumb as that sounds, but he killed a lot of drones, right? So, this is such a weird game.
Is Dark going to try to actually break him here? He actually has a drop overlord set up.
Well, I think he's going to keep the pressure on nonstop. He's taken too much damage to pull back into a macro game.
Okay. Lings are unloading over here. Yeah, this isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, especially this Viking.
This was definitely the biggest afterthought of a strategy ever. Okay.
Ooh.
So right now,
like
Dark has a pretty good contain over here on GuMiho, but you know, it's not doing much more than just containing him. And frankly, if you're going mech, you're not really interested in moving out of your base anyways.
That's really the creep. So that was actually pretty important. Oh, did one of them live? Yeah, I think the scan ran out and 1 tumor lived. LOL. Okay, so that's a lot of Ravagers out on the map, but the drone count for Dark was so unbelievably low. He's remaking now, but he was actually like at 37 drones or something for a long time. He's going to move in, and I mean, the Ravager's coming up.
Okay, nice dodge there on those biles. The tanks are rolling out, and of course, these Ravagers really can't run away very quickly. So these Banshees are going to do a lot of damage, and with the bare minimum of micro, you can avoid, of course, those corrosive biles. So this is a pretty cool, flexible play here by GuMiho. Kind of interesting to see him push out like this. I thought he was going to wait a little bit longer.
Well, I think he's done so much damage, and there's like no creep spread.
No, you're right. You're right. He's killed so many workers early on.
Those Hellions just counterattacking.
That was a little bit alarming when we saw that many drones die and he didn't move them.
Well,
it's like, what's going on
Dark
here?
had drawn all his units up. A lot of times, Terran gets scared of that, and they bring every unit back. But I guess GuMiho was just like, no, I'm going for the counterattack. So good play by him. Oh my God, the biles hit a Banshee.
That's not supposed to happen.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess Dark is going to kill this attack, and that was a lot of expensive units.
So we were right all along. You don't want to push out with mech, even if you've done that much damage. I thought there was some kind of like matrix code that only GuMiho could see, that he knew that this was going to work, and then it got shut down. I thought, okay, back to the fundamentals.
He walked up on the creep and all, and the thing is, I think he's still ahead after that. But what if he goes the other way and attacks the third base that has no creep coming out of the left side of it, and he's in a position that can't be surrounded like that? I think that might have been a bit better. But he was like going for a kill. This game is so weird. I feel thrown off.
Well, I feel like we're trying to say the right thing, but then the weird thing happens.
Yeah, a lot of weird things have occurred this game already.
Like even that push alone, we're like, oh, you don't normally move out with 6 tanks. 2 Banshees.
6 tanks, 5 Marines, 3 Banshees, and a Viking.
If you don't have a ton of Hellions around that to soak damage, it's not going to work. And then the attack where he got the E-Bays, and we're like, well, that's interesting. He's going to knock him off of that, and then he switches to mech. I'm like, huh.
It's like, yeah, I don't have upgrades. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
All I have now are siege tanks, I guess. But now he's on 4 bases, and Dark has no creep spread. His drones were so late. He's behind on workers. He's behind on bases, but he's going into swarm hosts. So, swarm hosts are definitely something that can do well against mech, but GuMiho is the guy who figured out how to counter the swarm host play, right? He's already got a couple Thors out. I haven't seen medevacs, but...
It's kind of weird. It's like we've had an oddball response to an oddball response to an oddball response.
Well, these are the perfect people to make that game.
Yeah. We cast so many TVZs, a lot of them look like, each other, but this one, not the case, man.
Don't worry, we have that one after this.
Yeah.
With Rogue Innovation.
Innovation is going to deliver a standard TVZ.
Yeah, he's going to do a 2-2 timing push, and Rogue is going to try to hold on. So we'll see that afterwards. But this crazy game here, the double Thor drop coming in, but the swarm hosts have sent a volley on the other side of the map. So
okay, now the Locusts are coming in here doing a decent amount of damage. Some Roaches coming in here as well.
Yeah,
no direct response to this. Now the Thors are actually going to hit this hatchery and possibly take it out if there's no response from Dark immediately.
Jeez.
And the thing is, the Locusts don't reload that fast, man.
No, they certainly do not. So he actually kills that hatchery, and now he's going to go kill this hatchery.
This game is so weird.
This is insane.
This is seriously one of the weirdest TVZs I've ever casted.
Yeah, it's been pretty bizarre. A lot of strange things have happened, but both these guys are really intelligent, flexible players. So they're making what they can with what they have. I feel like this is that children's book Stone Soup.
Okay.
Right, where they start with a stone and some water, and then the village people keep bringing this person has carrots and this person has celery and stuff, and by the end, Stone Soup is actually a really delicious soup.
Yeah.
And that's the game that we have right now.
GuMiho brought the Thors. And Dark brought the Swarm.
He brought the Hellions while he brought, the Ravager push with the Queen drop.
Yeah.
And now we've had, as you say, the Swarm hosts, and now we have the Thors.
Yeah.
And this is a 6 Stone Soup game that we're going through right now.
I think Dark is going to lose this if he doesn't do a lot more damage with these Locusts coming up here.
He's getting the fact that some decent damage.
GuMiho's run around the map punching holes in expansions with just 2 Thors. The Thors are intended generally to kill workers off and keep the Zerg honest, but you get a hatchery, you're like, okay, well, I will take that for sure.
The Thors are... It's such an interesting aspect of this mech army, right? A lot of times it kind of forces Hydras, because then it threatens killing the medevac, which is the only way that you get the Thor.
Yeah.
But Dark this game can't afford to get into Hydras quite yet. He's starting to make them now, but he has to make these Swarm hosts work for him, like you said. Now with all these Hellbats out, it's going to be hard for the Locusts to actually push through here.
Yeah. Well, here come the Locusts now. Now, again, this hatchery is just now being remade. The Locusts are not high enough in numbers that they can't be eliminated very quickly, so the push is going to continue on. Interesting counterattack here with all these Roaches from GuMiho.
That one Liberator really screwing that attack up, though, and he continues to push forward. A bunch of Swarm hosts with no Locusts to reload. He's going to roll through that base again. Damage everywhere. Chaos. Destruction.
Madness.
This is just crazy.
I think GuMiho just wins, right? He's way too deep in here. The Locusts are not going to do anything, and this counterattack by the Roaches will be cleaned up, right?
Yeah. The Roaches aren't going to end the game. Roaches never end the game. They do damage, right? He killed a ton of SCVs.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He's going to get up into the main now. He could take out all the tech here.
Oh, look at all those
Locusts.
Yeah, they're not even going to get over there.
We're coming for you, Tyrion.
Coming for you,
We're going to get you guys.
Damn. If those had...
Goodbye.
They don't even get to land. That's brutal.
All right, guys. Today is brought to you by the letter G. I was hoping he was going to say GG, and it was going to be timed out perfectly, but it was not.
Oh, he's not done trying, Tasteless. This is Dark we're talking about. Oh my god, that's a lot of mules.
Yeah. Fortunately, these Roaches are just not going to cut it. The remainder of what... Yep, there it is. GG.
Well, that was a wild game.
What a weird game.
That was
what a cool, weird game we had there.
Really interesting kind of to see, right? Dark with the early speedlings killed the Marines, so was able to see everything GuMiho was doing. He set up an attack that actually did pretty decent damage, but could have done a lot more things. He had to bring back his Lings to kill the Hellions, which killed 16 drones. That Hellion counterattack is really what won GuMiho this game.
Yeah.
And the fact that GuMiho switched then, after he lost his E-Bays into mech, like, I worship decision making
what's so funny
like
about that is, like, had he not walled in with the E-Bays, they would not have been denied like that. Then he wouldn't have gotten a mech. So it's like, we could have had a very different game.
Yeah.
That's like the butterfly effect game is what we just casted there. Okay, so GuMiho wins game 1. Dark in a little bit of trouble, guys. Dark and ambitious, top-tier Zerg, but right now in 2018, he doesn't seem to be at the front of the pack.
You know, he still has a lot of great results, but where are his championships?
We're still looking. Let's go. Game 2. Dark vs. GuMiho.
Dark. Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
This is that first game. You know, sometimes stuff gets so weird that I'm just like, I kind of get confused and my brain slows down. Like whether I'm playing or casting or watching, like
well,
there'll be a game
not
that's
the normal.
it's like 7 deviations off of normal, right? Where it's like, okay, no, I've seen this Queen Ravager push and I've seen Hellions kill drones, but at the same time, and then he killed the E-base, so then it's mech, and then he pushes too early, but a 2 Thor drop kills 2 hatcheries. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, man. What happened back there? There was a lot of moments that we had to almost try to find our footing again as we're casting it. Where I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Especially cool because it is Dark and GuMiho, who are just such talented players. But that game was a snowflake of a game, Artosis.
Yeah,
you will not have another game like that.
You'll not see a game like that again. But that's kind of the cool thing about these two as well. They're both like really, really flexible players that have bigger ranges than basically everyone else from their race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very safe statement now that I'm thinking about it. They have bigger ranges than everyone else.
You take someone like Innovation, and obviously he's an incredible player. He's one of the scariest Terrans there is, but he is a bit predictable, right? He is like, it's like a certain type of software that he runs off of, and it's very efficient what it does, and produces possibly the best results you can have, for instance, for bio pushes, but you don't have a game like that if you have Innovation.
Yeah.
We had game 1.
Your strength is oftentimes your weakness as well, right? It's
true.
Like, the reason why Innovation is actually considered better than GuMiho and has better overall results is because he is predictable as well, because he kind of plays a stronger standard style.
Sometimes the scariest players to play against are the ones where you know what they're going to do and it doesn't matter.
Yes.
You're like, okay, well, he's going to do this push and I know it's coming. It's going to happen every time. I mean, this is kind of what Hydra was like too, that macro god, you know? You know he's going to come out, you know he's going to push, and it doesn't really matter how much you prepare for it. He's so good at what he's doing, it's going to run you over anyways.
Yeah, and you know, there's that type of scary, and then there's this other type of scary as well, right? Where it's like a Dark or an SOS or something, where you're like, well, I just don't know what's coming. This is a full-ranged player that mixes it up so seamlessly.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I'm going to try to get my brain together here for this game. Let's take a look at what's going on. Third command center very quickly again. It looks like it's probably going to be Banshee Hellion once again as well from GuMiho. Now, does he go for the double eBay?
You know, maybe. I mean, he never got to try what he wanted to do in game 1. I wonder if he always switches to mech if he loses those eBays, you know?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Because I feel like if you destroy their eBays, you don't logically conclude, okay, now he can't go bio, right? You think the eBays are going to be made in the back of his base. And
yeah, maybe.
It's going to go on, right? But
I haven't seen people make that switch, because that was about as late as the switch could be.
Is the mech switch a good response because the Roach Ravager and Queens are right outside of his base, and he knows that since it hasn't killed him, he can safely transition into that?
The thing is, if you are not hitting at specific times with Bio, I think it becomes very, very difficult to get anything done. Because, like, I don't think that Bio is necessarily a weaker choice than mech, which is something maybe I would have said in the past at times, but right now I'm not sure that that's the case. But, like, for instance, right, like Innovation, when we see him play TVZ, he generally hits the 2-2 very sharply, and that's what decides the game generally, is the amount of damage or that he does or does not do. And the thing is, if you lose your upgrades when they're over halfway done, everything is pushed back by like over a minute, and then suddenly all your timings are gone. It's like, are you going to be finishing 2-2 and trying to hit a tank push when Broodlords are attacking you now? You know, like, where did you have to recalibrate everything, and it gets very difficult. Obviously, for the Zerg player, it's going to be a little bit different because he did a Ravager rush and stuff. But I'm just saying, it's oh my God, the Cloaked Banshee with no detection here.
Yeah, look at this. The Spore still has a ways to go. Not even halfway done. Here come the Hellions as well as the Reaper coming up. Good decision making here by GuMiho. He decides to back up. Meanwhile, so many drones are getting killed here. This is actually getting really bad, man. 7 kills already, and the Banshee basically unscathed.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. And looks like he's going for Banshee speed immediately here. And he's obviously going mech, as we see as well. I think that this is a very, very good choice against Dark. I was actually kind of surprised that he was even thinking about that Bio in that first game. The best Bio players in the world right now have a bit of trouble against the top Zergs.
Okay, another push coming out here. The Banshees slide in once again. They can one-shot the drones. And again, the Queen not going to be adequate defense in a moment like this. But this is a two-pronged attack. We have this small group of Hellions just outside. And actually, he might be able to just deny this. Look at this funny-looking push, Artosis.
Yeah,
it's like
denied.
Half Hellions, half Marines, and a tank, and Banshees.
Yeah, he just kills it off easily there. Here comes the Roach Queen. He doesn't really need to fight it right this second. Definitely does need some Ravagers if he really wants to play.
Yeah, might need a few more Ravagers to try to pick off the tank. But I think GuMiho's going to turn around. This is so funny. Look at this. He's still making Banshees.
Oh yeah, he's getting Banshee speed. So this is like a non-stop Banshee production. And even killing one here is a big deal for Dark. I don't think that he knows that Banshee speed is on the way, because this is a very odd time to get it. Normally you get it late game and you're going like 2-port Banshee.
Dude, I swear, GuMiho can do almost anything and make it work.
Yeah. He's a very good player.
Yeah. Is there anybody that has a wider range of different stuff they do with Terran than GuMiho? I actually don't think there is. Think about it.
Let me think for a moment. Actually, for top players, I would argue Keen is kind of like GuMiho a little bit.
Yeah, but GuMiho's better than Keen.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, let's see what the results are this season, Tasteless, and then make our statements.
Artosis, I'm a time traveler. I'm here from the future to let you know that
not only
Trap,
Impact, and Keen
not
are the greatest players on Earth!
No, GuMiho's way better than Keen. I mean, Keen's a great player, but GuMiho is like a GSL champion. And then it's so crazy that he can kind of do anything. And
but he wasn't a GSL champion until he won GSL.
Yes, that's how it works, Artosis. We have many GSL champions who have not yet won GSL, but we all know. I mean, come on, guys. SOS is pretty good. No! You got to win to get the title. Keen ain't there yet, Tosis.
Not yet, Tasteless. Not yet. Okay, so the Speed Banshees are going to be a little bit of a problem. He went into the Infestation Pit, and it looks like that's just going to be for the quick hive. We're not going to see the Swarm Host this game, but probably he's going to rush up to Viper at this point, Vipers to go with this. And those are important for so many reasons. They can help out with the Banshees, but of course when the maxed mech push comes, and you have a mostly Roach Hydra army, you have to really utilize those Vipers well.
Yes.
But this is not a normal mech play. Like, a normal mech play doesn't have Speed Banshees this early on.
Yeah, this is kind of cool to see him get, like, it kind of combos it together. Banshees, by the way, could go down there and try to snipe that bottom right expansion if they decide to move in that direction.
Oh, they're already there,
Tasteless. All right, beat me to it, okay.
Well, their Speed Banshees are going to beat you everything.
Yeah, he's like, go Queens! He's like, oh, wait a minute, I got a lot of Banshees, but Transfuse is good. It's a good ability to have, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed. So he sees the Hive is on the way with that scan. That Fusion Core is really quick.
Another poke out here. GuMiho doing a really good job not overextending with those Hellions. I think if it was a different Terran player, he would have flown in there and tried to kill about 4 or 5 drones and then lost them all. But he's being really patient, and this is actually keeping Dark from moving out too far. You're basically exploiting the fact that, okay, like Hydras are scary, but they're not fast off creep. If you run inside their main and kill off all these drones, the Hydras are going to turn around and go back and defend. Meanwhile, Terran's getting bigger and bigger. And of course, the Hellions, they don't have a lot of utility later on in the game. So it's okay to throw them away in that fashion, to then switch them in for like tanks, for instance, or Thors.
Yeah. In a defensive mech player, it's very hard to break them with an army like this. You know, they have their tanks sieged up and whatnot. It's just like really, really tough. But that's only one tank, so he's poking right now. Banshee's coming out, playing with fire a bit there.
Yeah. You can see GuMiho's just going to end up losing these depots over here. And Dark doesn't really want to overextend. I think it would be unwise. Keep in mind, he doesn't have vision that there are not actually that many more tanks behind this. So he decides to back up.
GuMiho continuing to move around a bit. Looks like he's moving out for a little bit of an attack. The creep spread this game looking a lot better for Dark. Sitting here, Max getting his Spire finally. A little bit slow on that, but we're about to have Liberator range finish. So definitely going to help out as well. He doesn't have a lot of Vikings to push back the Vipers. The Vipers actually can be pretty strong here. A lot of times it's hard to get those Vipers in to get their spells because there'll be a group of Vikings.
Okay, we got a big attack coming up here. Some Liberation Zones set up. Ooh. Vipers coming forward. Some Blinding Clouds beautifully going down to those tanks, which are maybe just a little bit too clumped up. And this should be pretty easy for Dark to clean house.
Yeah, a couple of Liberators get sieged up to try to help out here, but that is absolutely not going to be enough. That was a lackluster attack there by GuMiho. Yeah, this is so interesting to me, right? Because normally the first maxed push from Terran is a nightmare for Zerg.
I got something to say about
because
that.
The Vipers get picked off a lot of the times by a swarm of Vikings, but he didn't have that. He made Banshees for harassment instead.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, is the fact that he went for that Banshee tag, I think slowed down. And because if you're making Banshees, you can't be making Vikings. They're coming out of the same structure, right? So I think he ended up with what looked to be a cool harass composition, but did not have a proper response to a late game situation where there are Vipers out there. I mean, I think it was one Blinding Cloud that covered 3 tanks, and negating 3 tanks in siege mode is already more than enough.
Yeah, well, the tanks were a little bit low because it was so harass-based and everything. And
yeah, not a ton of tanks.
The tanks are why it's really a nightmare, right? Normally you have a really strong set of tanks. They're spread. You have to hit like 3 Blinding Clouds and attack perfectly as Zerg to break it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just was unable to stop the Vipers at all, so kind of showing the power of that unit.
Okay, another attack in over here.
There's a big drop coming in as well, so he's trying to lure the attention, at least, of GuMiho. Flying right below the sensor tower with the big drop. Oh, he's ready, though. He knew.
Yeah, he chases this away. Looks like this will just unload over at this planetary, which should not be saved, I think, almost under any circumstance, right?
No, he gets it.
No way he's going to save that. Gotta be careful, though, man. This is actually a lot of Overlords with a lot of valuable units. Looks like the rest are going to be saved.
Greater Spire is going to be finishing up. 3-3 almost done on his ground units. No upgrades for his air units yet, though, on Dark's side.
Keep in mind, Dark has a ton of minerals and a ton of gas saved up.
Yeah, he does.
So, I mean, he can start balling, man. He's got a lot of money. And that means that he can attack in, lose a lot of units, and then just remake all of those, and then do it once again.
It's quite true. You got to be very cost efficient here as the mech player. And he's got quite a nice air army that he's been working on as well. He's getting a good amount of Vikings now to help counter any Broodlords that'll come in. He's got a lot of ranged Liberators. Obviously, if he goes back into Banshees, those can be strong. But right now, it's absolutely not a unit that he needs. Maybe a little bit later to start picking off some hatcheries as the game gets bigger. But he kind of needs to get his core army together, I think, Tasis. You know, he needs to make sure he has a good amount of siege tanks with some Hellions, or Hellbats rather, to buffer for them. And then some good anti-Broodlord tech.
Yeah, that's correct. He needs to be ready for that for sure. Now, even though GuMiho he had probably the biggest loss we've seen so far in this game with that mech attack failing.
Yeah.
He's not out of the game yet.
No, certainly not.
Excuse me. Dark still needs to come up with a closer, and that may be an opportunity for GuMiho where Dark might overextend or fail in that attempt, and then it's going to be the opportunity for GuMiho to maybe come back.
Yeah. No. Let's see how this goes down, because he's adding a lot of Thors as well. There's quite a few Vikings in the sky. But Dark kind of is in complete control. Like, his creep spread is amazing. He has a ton of bases right now. Let's count these bases. 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, 4 base, 5 base, 6 base.
Crazy.
6 bases, Tastes.
Okay, so the push coming down here, this is actually a pretty important expansion. If GuMiho commits to attacking it, looks like he's going to turn around. He probably needs to take the Broodlords on first. You got 2 options with Broodlords. You either play around them or you confront them directly. Does he actually have a counter to that, though?
To this army?
Yeah.
Well, there's counterplay on both sides because of the Vipers, right? So,
yeah,
like, a couple blinding clouds can be
how many
amazing
Vikings
here.
he actually has here. Okay, Zerg's attacking in.
Oh my god, those blinding clouds are amazing. GuMiho is a dead nerd, I think, Tastes.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy.
Those blinding clouds cleared everything so quickly.
Okay, Corruptor's coming forward now. And I think the rest of the ground army is just going to get vaporized here.
Yeah, the Broodlords really are reigning supreme right now.
It's all going to be the Broodlords here. It's funny because GuMiho's ground army was strong enough that actually he's still beat everything on the ground that could attack.
Yeah.
Now it's just these Broodlings he's fighting off.
And he's targeting with the Thors. Like, the Thors are doing reasonably well. Let's not forget that he has insane upgrades on his mech right now with 3-3. So that does pretty well against just the +1 attack air army. But
by the way, there's been nothing but mass Hydras remade here. As Dark is already maxed out again after losing his entire ground army.
Yeah, I guess he killed almost every siege tank. There's still like a couple out there. And in fact, the Broodlords turn and look at this. They're actually targeting down the remaining siege tanks, which kind of heralds what his next plan is, which is to go in with the Hydras.
Okay, another Hydra push coming up here. And am I mistaken? I believe that's just going to be game here. The Hydras are going to shred this apart.
Yeah, GuMiho was obviously making some anti-air here to deal with those Broodlords, and the Hydra switch was really strong.
Cool. We're tied up 1-1.
Yeah, this is a really nice series.
Artosis, my voice is killing me.
Your voice is killing you?
Yeah, my throat, man.
Oh, really?
So much casting.
Yeah?
I haven't had a rough throat like this in a while. I didn't notice till we started today. I'm like, oh, ow.
Ow.
Yeah, man, this is brutal. Brutal.
Well, why don't you kind of like whisper in your mic? You do like some ASMR casting here.
Oh, yeah, that's that stuff that, like, when people talk a certain way, it feels good in your ears like that.
Yeah. Pretty sure you talk a little bit like this.
You're tied up 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
Here at the GSL.
You know, we're going to be going into Game 3.
This
and
is
GuMiho
NPR,
Dark.
National Public Radio.
This is GSL, Global StarCraft League.
The Global StarCraft League. Dark, a Zerg player from Korea. Here to prove himself against GuMiho.
Cheryl wishes a happy birthday, a nice 35th, to her husband. You guys have a good night.
All right, let's go, guys. Game 3. Dark versus GuMiho here at the GSL.
Dark.
I actually think we were more using like the soft, calm public radio voices. I think the ASMR is like actually softer than that. I think.
No,
I think it's like whispering. It's like a weird. It's a weird fetishized whispering.
That's right. Yeah.
GuMiho.
We try to do that.
I still don't quite understand. Like, I see people talk about it, so I'm trying to talk about it. But I don't want to dive into the internet and actually Google this. Like, I don't want.
Oh, you do, man. I don't know that much about it, but we should learn more about it, Artosis.
Yeah.
Get these views boosted a little bit more. I would say maybe we should try Can we try to do the This American Life?
I
voice?
only vaguely know that. My wife listens to it in the house sometimes, but I don't really pay attention.
Gamers gather around from everywhere. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I got to work on it. I got to come back. I can't work this out live. I got to go pace around my house, listen to This American Life, and try to imitate Ira Glass until I can eventually come back here and do it. Anyways, yeah, man, my throat's killing me. Not like a sickness, but I think we've just been screaming. We've just been casting so much.
Yeah. Well, last night.
I mean, I'm going to be fine. We got a couple days off after this, but I'm like, oh wow, we've actually just been doing this a lot.
Last couple nights, the games were pretty crazy in KSL, so it's understandable.
Yes. Anyways, guys.
Just drink more water, Tasteless.
I've already finished my 2 water bottles. I didn't even bring enough water bottles up here.
Those are little tiny.
I got the little tiny guy water bottles.
Yeah.
What's up with Korea? Everywhere you go back to the States, it's like everything's huge, and then you come to Korea, they're like, yeah, they made Coke, but in a smaller can now too. I'm like, huh. In case you didn't want to drink an entire can of Coke, we got a tinier can here.
Yeah, that was really weird when I first moved here, but I'm used to it. So now when I see like the bigger stuff back in America, I'm like, huh.
Thanks everybody for coming down. What a great day here. Group of death here. B for death. There's the Reaper harassed. Shouldn't be doing too much more than this. Gonna try to come in here.
It's been a pretty good Reaper so far.
Let's see what kind of weird tech GuMiho goes for, or if he's going to play super standard this time. Again, last game he masked up a bunch of Banshees while going mech, which seemed to be pretty cool. It seemed like it could do a decent amount of damage, but then when we saw the actual push come out, of course there were no Vikings. There was nothing to actually respond to the threat from the air. So it was like this super anti-ground composition with the option to harass if you had an opening, but it did not lend itself to a healthy late game. And so Dark swatted it down and then came in with a closer with Broodlords followed up by Hydralisks.
Yes. It's a good synopsis of
Thank you.
What has occurred. And GuMiho once again with a very fast third command center. Seems like he has a general trend he's going for today. Some harassment units plus third command equals good fun. Let's get in that tech lab, so possibly Banshee once again. I think that really the main issue in that last game was that weird push that he did where the Vipers just destroyed him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of weird because that was probably the moment that he was dead, but Dark had a very, very late follow-up closer, which, by the way, is fine. I'm not even criticizing Dark. It's just like the game was actually lost somewhere in the middle, and then it's like Terran scrambling to try to recover and come up with a plan, and of course he does not.
Yeah, Dark just finishing him off.
Dark coming in here, taking a little peeky peek.
Yeah, so Stim is being researched right now, and there is an engineering bay being made. So I don't think this is going to be a fake. The Overlord scouts it.
Okay, Stim's on the way.
He does scout it.
We are going to have some of that bio coming up here.
Yeah, like, GuMiho is not bad at bio. I don't want to make it seem that he is.
But whenever I think about GuMiho, I just imagine an almost excessive number of Cyclones running around the map, killing stuff.
Which is funny because he went mech twice and didn't make any Cyclones yet.
I know, but that is what I think. If you had me close my eyes and think about GuMiho for a second, I would imagine Cyclones running around. Yeah, he can kind of do anything, man.
Yeah, he definitely can go bio. And this might be a very specific bio push, right? He's getting +1 in Stim right now. Actually didn't see how many barracks he's going to make. He's going 5 Marines at once, and he's still making Hellion. So
you know what
this could be like a very clever push.
We've never seen GuMiho do that push where he comes out with 2 tanks and tries to break them. The 2-base push that Mario loves to do.
He doesn't
never
do
done that.
2-on-1.
Yeah.
That's definitely not his skill set.
Like, but look at all these great units I got over here.
Yeah.
He's like the ambassador for every Terran unit there is. He's like, they're all great.
Yeah, these are fantastic.
You know, like
units,
sometimes
guys.
it's like different meals, right? Like innovations, like, okay, this is like really good. Like, this is a great Italian meal.
Yeah.
And then you got, a different Terran player. Okay, he's got his own stuff. GuMiho's like the buffet. He's like the all-you-can-eat buffet of Terran. You get every kind of unit comp, play style, all-ins, macro
But their mech
games.
is the tastiest. That's what people
they're
really
known
go
for
to the
their
buffet
mech,
for.
right? Yes, exactly. So, we should have a push coming out here in just a little bit. We're basically waiting to see the 4th base come down for Zerg. There's nothing to incentivize the Terran to try to attack a 3-base Zerg. Well, I said that, now he's going to do it, so let's see how this goes.
He's actually going to have a bunch of Marines, +1 Stim, and Hellbats. So this is a very weird push that we're seeing from him. This is not standard
this is
any
a very offshoot. I was just saying that we want to wait for the 4th base, that's when he attacks, but instead he's actually just going to attack in there anyways. Now, there are Roaches, there are Ravagers.
Oh my gosh, like Dark's micro here is really, really strong.
Yeah, this is, well, the Terran Army's not doing anything right now. He's trying to dump Hellbats on top of this.
Yeah, these units don't really counter Roaches that well. He has the +1 though, and he has a bunch of bio, but Dark is just going to clean it.
Okay,
GG.
that's it, GG. Wow,
So that was a very...
So, that's why you don't do that.
That was a very weird push that GuMiho did there.
Yeah, okay. Again, guys, normally these pushes are timed out to punish a player who's expanding, not... I don't know what was going on with that last game. That was just a weird series.
Yeah,
I feel weird after casting that. I feel Like I'm more confused about this matchup than I was when the day started.
Yeah, it was definitely very weird and different, but well, this is kind of the fun of Dark and GuMiho. I actually kind of hope that they're the decider match at the end because I would like to see them give a shot again. I think we'll see 3 completely different games once again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that last push was
weird.
Very peculiar. Like if you are, I think that this push was hoping to not hit Roach. Like if you're hitting Lings, you're really gonna wreck it.
We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, Rogue versus Innovation for our next best of 3. Stick around.